Joel chapter 1. The word of the Lord that came to Joel, the son of Pethuel. Hear this, you old men, and give ear, all you inhabitants of the land. Hath this been in your days, or in the days of your fathers? Tell you your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. That which the palmer worm hath left, hath the locust eaten, and that which the locust hath left, the cankerworm hath eaten, and that which the cankerworm hath left, hath the caterpillar eaten. Awake, you drunkards, and weep, and wail, all you drinkers of wine, because of the sweet wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. For a people is come up upon my land, mighty and without number. His teeth are the teeth of a lion, and he hath the jaw teeth of a lioness. He hath laid my vine waste, and blasted my fig tree. He hath made it clean bare, and cast it down. The branches thereof are made white. Lament like a virgin girded with sackcloth for a husband of her youth. The meal offering and the drink offering is cut off from the house of the Lord. The priest mourn, even the Lord's ministers. The field is wasted, the land mourneth, for the corn is wasted. The new wine is dried up, the oil languisheth. Be ashamed, O you husbandmen. Well, O you vine dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because of the harvest of the field is perished. The vine is withered, and the fig tree languisheth, the pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree, even all the trees of the field are withered, for the joy is withered away from the sons of men. Gird you yourselves and lament, you priests. Wail, you ministers of the altar. Come lie all night in sackcloth, you ministers of my God. For the meal offering and the drink offering is withholden from the house of your God. Sanctify you a fast. Call a solemn assembly. Gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land unto the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. Alas for the day! For the day of the Lord is at hand, and as a day of destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Is not the food cut off before your eyes? Yes, joy and gladness from the house of our God. The grain shrivel under their hoes, the garners are laid desolate, and the barns are broken down, for the corn is withered. How do the beasts groan? The herds of the cattle are perplexed, because they have no pasture. Yes, the flocks of sheep are made desolate. Unto you, O Lord, do I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame hath set ablaze all the trees of the field. Yes, the beasts of the field pant unto you, for the water brooks are dried up, and the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness. All right, let's go back up to the first verse. We'll be starting this new book of Joel, or Joel, as we would say. And Joel means the name, that's that holy name, God, as we shall refer to him, is the Mighty One. God is the Mighty One. He is the Son, even the Son of Pethuel, and that is the visions, or the opening of your understandings of the Mighty One. This one even who opens the understandings. And we're going to pick it up in verse 1, because, see, this is the word of the Lord that came to Joel, the son of Pethuel. And this is God is the Mighty One, and these are the visions even of the Mighty One. Hear this, verse 2. Hear this, you old men, and give ear, all you inhabitants of the land. Hath this been in your days, or in the days of your fathers? Hear this, so listen up, you old men, and give ear. Listen, and compare this to, now, see if this is all you inhabitants of the land, everybody who listens and everybody who hears. Has this been in your days, or in the days of your fathers? Has this been something that you've seen and something you've witnessed? Or has this been something that your fathers have seen and that your fathers have witnessed even? 3, tell you your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. So tell your children of it, Tell your children what you've seen. Tell your children to look for this. Tell your children to watch for this. Teach those who are younger than you of this. And let them tell their next generation or the generation after them to keep an eye, to listen and watch for these things, unless they've witnessed it or their fathers have. For that which the palmer worm hath left hath the locust eaten, and that which the locust hath left hath the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm has left hath the caterpillar eaten. And we'll see this palmer worm. This palmer worm is gatsam, and what that is these gatsam is the young locust when it first hatches. These multitudes, and it means the multitudes of these locusts is what it refers to, and that which the multitudes of the locusts has left has the locust eaten. And this word locust here is arba, and that means this locust in these swarms, in their swarming form. And a locust doesn't swarm, see. The locusts swarm when they reach a great multitude, and then they become what is the swarming locust, or this crown locust. It changes, it mutates into a whole different insect. And that which the locust, see, hath the cankerworm eaten, and that which it has left has this cankerworm, and this is the yakek. And what it is it's a locust, but it is the younger locust in like the second stage. And what it does is it refers to that which licks up, or that which devours the residue of what's left. And that which the cankerworm, or that which devours the residue of what's left, has left, the caterpillar has eaten. And this caterpillar is the katsil, and what that is the finisher, that which comes in and finishes it up. See, we'll refer to it as even that which is unclean, which comes in and finishes the job. 5. Awake, you drunkards, and weep, and wail, all you drinkers of wine, because of the sweet wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. Awake, wake up, because that's what God's trying to do, is wake you up, you drunkards, you ones that have made yourselves drunk even, and drinking of the wine, these understandings. We're going to find out this is all the other understandings of the world. You haven't been obeying the law, you haven't been listening to God, and weep, and cry for your drunkenness, and wail, all you drinkers of wine. And this wine is that which represents that which comes from the vine. See, we're going to find there's two wines. There's the sweet wine, because of the sweet wine, see. That's which comes from the grape when it's fresh squeezed, see. And that's the good wine. That's that sweet wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. And what that is, see, the season is passed on now. And that time of the sweet wine is past, just like the moon. See, the moon, it gets to its point, and then that point there where the moon's light is the greatest, it starts going back down to where it's going to be the dimmest, see. That's the same time the wine becomes, and then the wine starts to ferment or reach its peak, for it is. But the sweet wine, see, that good wine, that first wine, see, it is cut off from your mouth. And the mouth is always in a reference to a place where it pours out, and even where that sweet wine pours out. 6. For the people is come upon the land. For a people is come upon my land, mighty and without number. And his teeth are the teeth of a lion, and he hath the jaw teeth of a lioness. And this, for a people is come upon my land, this a people has come up, and we'll find at that time that it was Babylon. That even confusion, see, that's who when this period of time was. It was confusion coming up, and we can take that right down to the end time, see, with confusion being great in the earth. This is a people that is mighty, and they are mighty, and they are without number for the magnitude of them. His teeth are the teeth of a lion, and the teeth, these teeth are in reference to that which tears, just like the lion. See, this word lion here is the ari, and that ari is more like this visions of terror, these visions of what a lion does, and this lion, it rips and tears over its prey, and then it just stands guard over it, and he has the jaw teeth of a lioness, and this lioness here is labi, and that word, see, it's a little different word. It refers to, here we have this jaw teeth, because a lioness takes that prey, see, and she crushes it with her back teeth for her whelps. And this lioness, here the labi, it refers to that which roars, because she does call her whelps to feed. 7. He hath laid my vine waste, and blasted my fig tree. He hath made it clean bare, and cast it down, and the branches thereof are made white. And he hath made my vine waste. And this vine is in reference to that which we plant, that vine we look for the harvest, see, for the sweet grape juice, this sweet wine, and it's blasted, it's ruined, we'll see this, and blasted my fig tree, this blasted here, and what this word is to have stripped in strips, just like you would take a piece of paper, you would rip it into strips. This here is to have taken the bark off. I believe the King James Version says barked my tree. This is blasted my tree, but it is to peel the bark off in strips. See, stripped the bark off of the tree, this fig tree even, that which represents this acceptable fruit. And he has cast my branches, he hath made it clean bare, and cast it down. The branches thereof are made white. And this white here is to be made white. He has made them white. He has even this similitude of being purified. They had to be, because we'll find out, it was God who has done all this in his wrath. Lament like a virgin, girded with sackcloth for a husband of her youth. Cry now like a virgin. This is a similitude as well. This sackcloth, with this sackcloth for a husband of her youth. This is as a virgin, even one who is not known man, crying now, girded with sackcloth. And sackcloth is much like burlap. It's not something that you would enjoy to wear. Sackcloth stands for mourning. It's a symbolism of mourning for a husband of her youth. And this is like this one who was promised to a husband and has loved her husband even from her youth. This one she is promised to. She has, before she had time to know him and bring forth seed, she is a widow. 9. The meal offering and the drink offering is cut off from the house of the Lord. The priest mourn, even the Lord's ministers. And this meal offering is, as we have learned, this offering, that makes atonement for the meal, and that is the harvest. And the drink offering, this that makes atonement for the drink offering, that which we drank. It refers to a liquid that we take in, and that's understanding coming in. And these drink offerings here would be poured out, because what it is an understanding you used to have before you found out the understanding of God, and that's the law. See, God gives you the law in the beginning for your knowledge, for your wisdom, for your understanding, and what we're finding out here is the ramifications for the disobedience of that. And it's cut off from the house of the Lord. The priest mourn, even the Lord's ministers. 10. The field is wasted, the land mourns, for the corn is wasted. The new wine is dried up, and the oil languishes. This field is wasted. This field, even that which is planted, it's wasted. The land cries. The land mourns. All the land. And here we're talking about this land of understanding. See, it mourns. It's crying out, for the corn is wasted. That harvest, see, that harvest is wasted. Even that last harvest, that's what that is, the final harvest. The new wine is dried up, and the oil languishes. This new wine, this wine we thought we was going to have, this understanding we thought we would get, this pure, this goodness from the grape, that which was planted, the vine, brought forth. It's a similitude, see, of the people with their understanding. It is dried up, and the oil languishes. This oil is that anointing. It's that anointing. It's from the olive, and that is the representation of the law itself. And it's dried up, that new wine. The vine has been, we'll find, blasted, plucked up. Plucked up. That's what God said he was going to do. He's going to pluck it up and shake it off. 11. Be ashamed, O you husbandmen, well, O you vine dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. Be ashamed, O you husband, these that tend, these that take care. Well, O you vine dressers, well, and cry, O you ones who tend the vine. We'll find out that's the law. See, you make sure the law is obeyed, you make sure the law is kept. That was the priest's job. See, and we had the priest, even the ministers of the Lord, because we found out, see, God had made a separation even in the house of God, and still does. Be you ashamed, O you husbandmen, these ones who tend this law, for the wheat, even that first harvest, and for the barley, even the barley, that which symbolizes when we know that the beginning, this beginning of the harvest, because the harvest of the field is perished. All these things are done away with. All these things are gone. 12. The vine is withered, and the fig tree languishes. The pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree, even all the trees of the field are withered, for joy is withered away from the sons of men. The vine is withered, that which bringeth forth the grape representing the people with their true understanding, and the fig tree. See, the fig tree is that tree, even that represents that thing that's exalted even in understanding. This fig tree, even that acceptable fruit, it languishes. The pomegranate tree is that which represents. See, all these are similitudes, and they represent something. They have a dual meaning. This pomegranate tree, this is a tree, the word is hormone, and I refer to it as that unacceptable fruit. The palm tree is that tree, that which represents, see, the palm, even that rest, this palm up, this rest, even the understandings of rest. Also the apple tree, that exalted, that which represents, see, the apple, or even this is that fruit of the field, this tree out in that comes forth, see, of its own seed, is what it represents. These trees of the field are withered, for joy is withered away from the sons of men. And what this represents is all these understandings wither. There's no understanding, is what it all is a similitude of. No one teaches the truth, no one has understanding, and no one sets the order which God has established even from the beginning. 13. Gird yourselves and lament, you priests, wail, you ministers of the altar. Come, lie all night in sackcloth, you ministers of my God, for the meal offering and the drink offering is withholden from the house of your God. Gird yourselves, gird it up, and this refers to strap up and tighten up your understandings, these understandings that come from above and descend into the flesh, and that's what this is a similitude of. And lament, cry, and wail, you priest, wail. And these priests were those ones that had lifted themselves, or taken up a position of authority even. You ministers of the altar even. These ones who minister even, who offer upon, who bring understanding to the people, and the people, they accept these offerings of atonement even. You ministers of my God, because we were talking about the ones, even these Levites that had been separated out, who God was making an example of. For the meal offering, this meal offering, cry for the meal offering, because this thing that makes atonement, even for the harvest, and this drink offering, this which makes atonement for this, which is poured out, your understandings where they're poured out unto God, is withheld from the house of God, your God. These things have been cut off. See, these things are taken away. We'll find. See, God was in judgment. God was having judgment. And so it is. 14, sanctify you a fast, and call a solemn assembly. Gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land unto the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. Sanctify you a fast, and call a solemn assembly. This fast, we'll find out, this fast would be in reference to a period of time when you would not eat. See, you would not eat. You would. This is a fast. But what this is in a similitude is that you forbear from understandings coming in. You stay away from this nourishment, or this substance that feeds, this bread, so to speak. This bread would be the use in a fast. We would eat no bread. Why? Well, this bread has a representation of the substance which feeds flesh and spirit. See, call a solemn assembly. Call a solemn assembly, and this assembly are those who are gathered together in understanding, who have understanding. See, this solemn, because this assembly of that, even gather the elders, all the inhabitants of the land, unto the house of the Lord your God. Gather all the elders, all those who have understanding, all the ones of knowledge. See, that's what the elders are a similitude of. These of age we look for. They have experience. They have understanding, see. All the inhabitants of the land, all those that inhabit this land, referring to the understanding of the kingdom of God, and the house of the Lord your God, come forth to there, and cry unto the Lord. Because it was a time to turn. It was a time of judgment. It's a time of punishment that we can see, and we can witness, see. We can see and witness. 15. Alas, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Alas, finally, for a day, even a day, this period of time, for a day of the Lord is at hand. For a day of the Lord, this period of time of God, is even at hand, or even all the understandings of this are at work. God is working in the earth, and a destruction from the Almighty shall it come, because that's what we've been talking about, this destruction of that understanding. See, this becomes the new drink offering. It's a drink offering that's poured out unto the Lord. See, the Lord has to have an acceptable drink offering, that which can be poured out where your understanding is poured out, offered up to God in atonement for your sin. See, that's what it's all about. Is not the food cut off before your eyes? Yes. Joy and gladness from the house of your God. Is not this food, substance, cut off from before your eyes? Yes, it is. These understandings, this knowledge of understanding, even the teachers of the law, these bringers who can turn, these ones who have the knowledge and the ability of turning, see, they are cut off before your eyes. Yes, your gladness of the house of your God. The gladness, even the house of God Almighty, this Holy One. The grains shrivel under their hoes, the garners are laid desolate, and the barns are broken down, for the corn is withered. The grains shrivel, this is that which you would plant. See, they shrivel under their hoes, under their works, as they go to pull the earth back to that which they plant. See, that it shrivels, it dies underneath their works. The garners are laid desolate. Those ones who will harvest, see, they are laid desolate. There's nothing to come. There's nothing for them to harvest. The barns are broken down, for corn is withered. The places where they would store, these places are broken down now. For the corn is withered. Even the last harvest, see, it has died. It is cast in the field, and we'll find, see, even that which was to come, the barley, the wheat, That's the new harvest. All this is fails. 18. How do the beasts groan? The herds of the cattle are perplexed, because they have no pasture. Yes, the flocks of sheep are made desolate. How do the beasts groan, these ones of the field, these ones who cry out even, these beasts that groan, these ones that I refer to as the ones that lay in wait. And for the herds of the cattle are perplexed. These herds of the cattle, these ones that are gathered, the flock, as we'll find, these ones who feed upon understandings are perplexed. They're confused. For why? There's no green grass. There's nothing to eat because they have no pasture, see. They have no pasture. There's no understanding available. Yes, the flocks of sheep are made desolate. These flocks, those ones that gather, these sheep, they refer to as a lesser cattle. These ones that are a little easier to gather, so to speak. 19. To you, O Lord, do I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame hath set ablaze all the trees of the field. Unto you, O Lord, do I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame hath set ablaze all the trees of the field. This fire is the judgment of God. It always is. And this is what does devour the pastures. See, because they break the law. And any time you break the law, any time you go against the covenant which God made with humanity, see, it is both the blessing and the cursing. It goes forth, it divides rightfully. See, that's what we're talking about. This fire that devours the wilderness. And the wilderness we've referred to as this place of all these exalted trees, even these that shade, these the shadow, and there's no pasture beneath them. There's no green grass. There's no place to feed. So we find the flame has set ablaze to all the trees of the field. And this flame, this fire, this devouring judgment of God, has set ablaze all the trees, all the exalted ones round about. 20. Yes, the beasts of the field pant unto you, for the water brooks are dried up, and the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness. Yes, these beasts of the field pant, they thirst. See, they have no understanding. They thirst for the water. These beasts, even those ones that lay in wait, see, there is no understanding. It's dried up. It's gone. It's taken away. These waters, these words of understanding of the law of God, see, these things that can accomplish the will, they are dried up. These brooks, even these understandings of the law, have been taken away. See, God is in judgment. Witness now. See, has this been in your generation? Maybe your fathers told you these things. Maybe you can see it for yourself. Tell somebody. See, that's what Joel's trying to say. Tell somebody. Watch for these things. Watch for it. And what we're talking about is the slow degradation of society here. This fire that has devoured the pastures. This fire, these judgments of God. See, why? Because they err, they transgress. See, this is the judgment from the law. This is the opposite of blessing. And the pastures of the wilderness, even where all these exalted ones, where they feed beneath. See, this is what we're talking about. And this all is of great similitude. It's a great similitude, and we see it today in society through degradation. Turn and return. Let's move to Joel chapter 2.